go again. What's up guys, it's Nick from 4T here, back with another video today. And this is the new Google Pixel 4a 5G. And I'm going to preface this by saying that as much as I like this phone, as much as it's really complete for me, this is a very good example of how good phones have gotten over the years by not buying this phone. Because even though this phone has a great camera, a great software experience, tons of little extras that I'll get into in a little bit, it seems like phones like this just don't matter anymore. The enthusiasts look for more things in phones than just a great camera and great software. I'll explain what I mean in a bit. So first off, the build of this phone. It's mainly plastic, which is fine for me. I don't really care that much. Get some fingerprints, no water resistance. But if you're like me, you can grab this case right here from Pixel. This is their Google Pixel Fabric case. They sell it for all versions of the Pixel, and I like it. It feels good in the hand. It's a little chunky, but I like it a lot. There's a rear fingerprint sensor on the back. I really wish there was an in-display fingerprint sensor, but you know, it works fairly well, decently fast. It's good enough for me. I just really wish Google would start moving a little bit more forward. There's also a USB-C port on the bottom and a headphone jack on the top. Headphone jack. You can never go wrong with a headphone jack. This phone also has a pretty decent display. It's a 6.2-inch OLED display, 1080p, only 60 Hz. I feel like the whole high refresh rate thing is kind of overrated, but I'm totally fine with this display. The colors are popping. But there's this weird issue when watching videos shot at a certain aspect ratio where the hole punch camera kind of interferes a little bit, but only parts of it. Maybe some apps just aren't optimized yet, but yeah, that's a problem. And of course, as a Google Pixel owner, you have access to the latest and greatest of Android software. This is Android 11. I have my pretty divided opinions on stock Android, but I kind of gotten used to it more. I started to like it more, and I think I can set it up the way I like it, the way I approve, and now it runs fine for me. This phone has a 3,885 milliamp hour battery with 18 watt fast charging. The battery life has been okay. Sometimes when I'm in a 5G area, things take a hit a little bit, but the phone lasts me comfortably all day. Fast charging is welcome. This battery life is fine. Obviously, you have 5G in this phone, hence the name, Google Pixel 4a 5G. I don't really hype up 5G that much. It works fine for me. Only certain areas it works really fast and where I get really high data speeds. 5G is something that is definitely going to have to be more looked towards in the future, but for now, it's a nice thing to have. And then of course, you can't forget about the cameras. You got a dual camera setup on the back, a 12 megapixel wide angle, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide with an 8 megapixel front facing camera. And the Google Pixel knocks it out of the park again. You're getting really crisp, sharp, punchy photos, really great night photos. I mean, what can you really expect from a Google Pixel, I guess, but I'm really confident with this new phone. The camera is great, the photos it comes out are great. I still have yet to test out the new 4K 60 FPS video mode, but I promise that's coming up soon. This is great. Then it all comes down to this. Should you buy the Pixel 4a 5G? And I would say yeah. This phone starts around $500, and for that money, you get a decent display, a headphone jack, a good set of cameras, and a pretty good build, good software experience with constant updates to Android. For a lot of people, this is going to be a very complete phone. But if you're like a big enthusiast, if you want like the latest and greatest of everything high-end, you're not really willing, actually, let me say, you are willing to shell out a few extra bucks to buy like a much better phone, then you can do that too. But I think for most people who want a good Android phone and they don't care too much about high refresh rates, they don't care too much about the ultimate experience with a phone, they don't care about the best performance ever. I didn't mention this earlier, but this phone only has a Snapdragon 765G with only 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. It isn't the biggest, baddest spec story phone, I guess you can say, but it's complete. It's a fairly good phone for the money, and in this day and age where phones are well above $1,000, this is pretty competitive. But again, if you want something that's much more flagship material, you want something with IP68 water resistance, wireless charging, which this phone does not have, you know, you gotta look somewhere else. You gotta look for the higher end Pixel 5 maybe, or the OnePlus 8 Pro, Samsung phones. You know, it's really good that in 2020, despite how crazy this year has been, you know, that we have a lot of options when it comes to tech. Tech is always evolving, and I'm really happy to be using this phone. I'll be using it for, honestly, probably the next couple of years because I like it that much. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out this video. You know, stay tuned for what's coming up next. I'm kind of lost for words, honestly, because it's kind of a hard video to put together. This has kind of been my first video of this format. Instead of just me, you know, staring down at the phone, talking about it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. Talk to you guys on the next one. Peace out.